Hello everyone. So this video is going to be about textures because I feel like a lot of people don't really know how to use textures with popping. So there is plenty of textures, but pretty much what is a texture anyway? It's the feel and the look of how something is. So you can change the texture. Obviously, you can't feel a dance because it's a visual thing. Like when you're looking at someone else dance, you can't reach through the screen and touch them, but you can kind of get an idea of what texture the movement is doing just by watching. So that's all up to the dancer though. So I have written down some notes for different textures. The first one is a bounce, which is, everyone knows the bounce, but how is a bounce a texture, right? So you got to think like rubbery, right? So if something's rubbery, it can either be like bouncy. So the bounce actually creates the texture of like a rubber or something, right? So really bounce, bounce, boom, boom. So like a ball obviously is bouncing. So right here is a little bit of mime going on as well. Like imagine there's a ball or something right there. But my arm can also take on the property of rubber. Like if my arm's gonna smack into an invisible wall or something, like bam, boom, boom, or like bam, boom, boom. It hits the wall and then it kind of like bounces back because there's like this rubbery texture going on. Now, also you could imagine there's like elastic, like you pull something, like you're stretching it, like something stretchy, and then it comes back like stretch, in. Alright, so we could do like this stretch, in, stretch, in, stretch, in, stretch, in, stretch, in, stretch, stretch. The chest can stretch out, the arms could kind of stretch out and then come in. But with the elastic, you gotta remember we're stretching it and then we're coming in. So the stretch creates this like this like elastic field that we go out as far as we can, and then like we could create that kind of elastic feel, right? So that's the next one. Rock. So the texture of rocking would be like so now we've got to imagine what texture is this creating by rocking, right? So we have something that might be not quite like a tree, because a tree would be a little bit more like swaying in the wind or something like. But if something's a little bit more rigid, right, a little bit more stiff, it's going to be blown in the wind, right, and create this rocking kind of feel like. So it's still rocking, right? Or you have this like kind of rocking motion. So it's stiff, but it's still light enough to be controlled by like some type of force that's acting on it, right? So if there's a rock, like we can go ting, 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 ting. Or if like you push something and then it kind of like tilts over a little bit and then comes back. So now we have the texture of like gravity or a force acting on that object. Like if I had something, for example, that I was going to push over like this, and then I just let go, it would be like you push it and then it comes back and it does like this rocking motion, right? So you're pushing it and then like if someone's going to push me, I'm probably going to come up like this, right? And then I'm going to come back and it's going to be a little rock there. So that's the texture you want to create, is like that the force or the gravity or the inertia and like the cause and effect type of thing that's going on, right? And it obviously is something stiff, because if I was like not stiff, you would push me, and then obviously I would be like floppy. So if something's not stiff, if something's a little bit more flexible, it's going to behave differently when pushed. Like a tree in the wind, it's going to sway a lot, right? Sway. So that's the next thing, like wind. We can create the effect of wind just by like keeping this, like our body's being moved by the wind or something. Okay, so there's like this wind type of effect going on, right? So that's wind. And you could also take that same texture and say it's a swaying motion as well. So because things sway in the wind, like that, right? So there's a swaying motion going on, like with the hips, boom. And we're just kind of like imagining that the wind is making us sway, like sway, sway, sway. Okay, so that's the texture we're creating, is like a swaying wind kind of motion, right? So next is like a swing. A swing. It's also very similar, right? Like the arms are swing, swing. Or the hips are going to go swing, swing, swing. So how does this texture work? And how is it actually a texture when you swing? Okay, the texture you're creating is, like I said, like gravity. Swing, and so gravity is applying to the arm. Something is obviously, it's got some weight to it, which causes it to swing in the first place. But there's also a force acting on it, right? Because if I was just going to do like a little swing like this, this is obviously not moving much. But if I go, the texture changes, right? Compared to like a smaller swing. And you can almost see as I slow down, the force gets smaller and smaller, right? So there's a big force acting on the swing, and then there's like a really small force acting on this swing, right? To the point where it gets so small, you can barely see it. So that's how we're applying like these textures and stuff to the swing, because we have like this texture of, okay, something is swinging like a rope with something attached to the end, or like a pendulum. Like for example, a pendulum could also like swing as well, like swing, swing. Or we could be like swing. But this is a little bit different, right? This is more of a pendulum texture, so now it takes on more of a mechanical motion. So it's still a swing, but this is like a mechanical swing now. So mechanical swing is also its own texture, which is used in like strutting. It's like tink, 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 boom. So you have this mechanical swinging motion, like so it's like mechanical, it's a little bit more stiff and rigid, but the swing is still there. Okay, so wobbles. Wobbling is like something that's very unstable, or like a bobblehead toy. Imagine like that. If my head's going, okay, so it's wobbling because it's very loose, right? And we could apply that to like something's whoa, like losing balance, like whoa, like something's really like trying to keep balance a lot, like you know what I mean, like whoa, add that like wobble to show that there's this like texture of like whoa, hang on, like it's hard to keep balance because it's very light and it's affected by all these forces and it's not really held on by much, like there's not much really like keeping it stable, like stabilized. So a wobble, yeah, we could also think of a wobble like whoa, like a wobble type of thing, right? Whoa, 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 whoa. So imagine like there is something that's moving and it's got screws in it, but one of the screws is came a little bit loose, and now instead of moving slowly, it kind of goes like it has this like wobble to it because the screw is a little bit loose. So you can take that whoa, that type of wobble motion, and then whoa, and then kind of like apply that to your dance like a wobble. So obviously waving is another texture, which is like liquids. We have like liquid waves because it's very like fluid in motion. But even with waves, there is textures of waves too. Like you have like ripples. Like I can't do ripple waves very good, but I'll try to show you. Like here's like a wave, and then it gets smaller and smaller, and then you get like this like ripple kind of effect, right? And sorry if my ripple waves aren't very good, but it's a very like ripply type of thing going on. Like the ripples kind of like, yeah, my ripple waves are terrible, but I just want to show you like that ripple effect. Like even the ripple waves can be happening here as well, like in the fingers. So like you have these ripple waves, and they're very small, like they're very like, yeah, it's hard to explain ripple wave, but it's like a very small micro type of wave, right? And it kind of acts like, still has that fluid motion, but yeah, it's very small. So a wave, yeah, what other types of waves is there? There's viscosity, so how viscous the density of that fluid is. So a wave could be like very thick, and then it could be like you're trying to really stick and like get your hand in there and like the texture is very like thick. You know what I mean? So you have this very thick texture you're trying to get through. Right? Or it could be very like fluid, look. Very liquidy, right? But then you have like something that flows a little bit more, like in liquid dance we have like this flowy kind of liquid, right? So you got to remember, okay, like there's all these different textures that can apply to even just waving. So there's like winds could be used with waves, like I was doing, like the So like more of a wind kind of texture, right? So yeah, there's a lot of textures with waves, but I'm going to actually finish this video in part 2 because I've got 15 minutes and I can only post 15-minute long videos. So stay tuned for part 2 and we'll drop the rest of these textures for you guys. Okay, so hope this helps. Peace.